Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first class of the course of hiding and avoiding, the pattern of hiding and avoiding. How are you doing? How have been your days? Some of you have participated in the surrender course. How has been since then? Were you able to apply? So, today it's a special day because we're gonna start a new group of classes, a new different level of classes, and it will be what we say that is at the very, very core of our life cultivation and our life problems, and also our limitations and so on. That is the work on the patterns. And we'll start with a very special one, at least for for me, from my perspective, that it is the pattern of hiding and avoiding. And why is this so important? Because by its nature, this pattern hides and avoids things. So, especially the things that are perceived as some kind of undesirable, or things that are even perceived as some kind of danger. And we know that one of the biggest problems that humans have is that they have their life being controlled by their patterns and by what we call in Renshui the false self, and that this pattern belong to the category of the false self. So when the true self wants to manifest, this pattern will perceive the true self as a danger and it will hide it and avoid it at all costs. Not just that, but also will hide and avoid everything that we have that is controlling us, manipulating us, that is making us to suffer, to have pain, to have um limitations, to not manifest our full potential. It will hide the things that really make us to experience happiness and well-being and all this true potential as human beings that we have inside. Our true nature is hidden by this pattern. Not just this, of course, many other things, but we'll go deeper on that uh, when we go deeper on the class. So, if you are new to this class, I will recommend you to watch my YouTube free classes about the heart qualities and the surrender. I gave an introduction class for free there, so you can watch it and you can learn about some terms, some words, some terminology that we use in Renshui. I'm gonna refer a few fundamental one for this class, for this courses on the patterns too after. So it's important. But like always, when we start the classes, we build a chi field and we unify our hearts. What is the chi field? Is a field that we create with energy, information, and we use this information and this energy, this chi, to connect us all and to support our learning and our practice. And we also use the connection with the hearts with all the participants so that we can have a heart-to-heart exchange of information and so facilitate the good state for the process of learning and for the process of self-transformation and growth. So let's build a chi field and unify our hearts. If you don't know how to do it, you don't need to know much. You just need to follow my voice instructions and my guidance through the practice of this first part. Okay, so adjust yourself to a good position with your spine straight, your body centered and relaxed. Look straight forward and slowly start to bring your awareness inward to the center of your head. Close your eyes and relax. If you feel any tension, any discomfort, just send information to relax, to let go. Relax your head and face. Relax your neck. Relax the shoulders, arms, and hands. Relax the chest and upper back. Relax the abdomen and lower back. Relax the hips, legs, and feet. Relax all your body from the top of the head to the toes, from inside out. Relax your heart. Relax your mind. Feel all your structure completely relaxed, open, and enjoy the freedom of being so deeply relaxed and clear. In this deep state of relaxation, your true awareness becomes alive. Awareness inside of the body. Feel the emptiness and spaciousness within. With your awareness, you go deep inside your body, deep inside the cells, the atoms, subatomic particles. You go deep inside the void. You go so deep, so small, that there is no space for more. And contemplate all the peace and quietness there. The void has no boundaries, no limitations, no opposition, and through the void, expand your awareness out in all directions with complete freedom and joy. Expand out becoming one with the universe. We dissolve ourselves in the universe, unifying with the universe, and we become so big that there is no space for more, and contemplate all the peace and quietness there. Unify with the bright chi and light of the universe, and bring your awareness back to the body, calm and peaceful. Connect with your heart and open your heart to all the universe with reverence and utmost Gonjing, or true respect and humility. And let the bright universe nourish your heart with compassion and love. Feel relaxed, free, and joyful. Chi is flowing harmoniously and smoothly. Go deep into your heart, your pure heart, and connect your heart with my own heart, and also with Yonsei, Melissa, and everyone in this chi field. Let's connect and unify our hearts, and always remember the strength of our hearts unified is exponential, and we can help better each other and support each other. So now, together with our hearts unified, we're gonna connect and manifest the five Shin, or the five heart essential heart qualities. We start to connect and manifest the state of unconditional trust, and give trust to everyone. Receive trust from everyone. Dissolve yourself into trust, and be trust. Now connect and manifest the state of unconditional openness, and give openness to everyone. Receive openness from everyone. Dissolve yourself into openness. And be openness. Now connect and manifest the state of unconditional love. And give love to everyone. Receive love from everyone. Dissolve yourself into love. You are love. Now connect and manifest the state of unconditional gratitude. And give gratitude to everyone. Receive gratitude from everyone. Dissolve yourself into gratitude. And be gratitude. Now connect and manifest the state of unconditional Gonjing. And give Gonjing to everyone. Receive Gonjing from everyone. Dissolve yourself into Gonjing. And be Gonjing. Feel the wonderful five Shin in your heart And in this state of purity, open up and connect with your true self. Invite it to manifest into your heart. Surrender to your true self and give it unconditional freedom to manifest all its awareness through understanding, realization, wisdom, all its power, bright light, and clarity. Surrender to your true self. Your consciousness, heart, and true self are now unified. And in this state of unification, open up and surrender to the universe. Surrender unconditional to the universe. Surrender your consciousness. Surrender your heart. Surrender your true self so that in each thought and pattern, in each feeling or emotion, in each awareness, realization, and wisdom, we become an instrument of the infinite love and wisdom of the universe, so that we can be one with the laws of the universe and accomplish the mission of Zidu Duren. Uplift yourself and help the others. We are now ready to learn together and grow together. Slowly, you can start to come back and gently open your eyes. Thank you, everyone, for your wonderful heart connection. I was already missing it. Let me just check here if everything is okay. Okay, so welcome to this wonderful journey in the work of the patterns of the consciousness. It is a very fundamental work to do in life cultivation. The patterns are at the core of everything that we do and everything that we manifest. All the thoughts, actions, feelings, emotions, all the human experience, all the sensations, everything that we go through life are an outcome of the work of the patterns of the consciousness. They work on the background of our life. They are deeply ingrained in our structure, and they are very difficult also to see and change by their nature. They what we see uh, are their manifestations, are the the fruit of their actions, of their existence. But sometimes, due to how they play with feelings, emotions, thoughts, and so on, the experience that they provide to us, it seems very real, even if sometimes is not. It's a full package of a complete experience of something that make it our own reality, our own perception of reality, our own interpretation of reality. But because we do have an interpretation, that doesn't mean that that interpretation reflects 100% a reality. And here is where the problems come from. Because most of the patterns that we have in our consciousness, they just reflect a partial part of reality. And because they have this tendency, we are not playing with the complete information, which means that if we don't have the, if we start wrong from the beginning, the outcome will be wrong. And they reflect the ignorance because the knowledge that comes from those patterns, they don't reflect the complete knowledge, they just reflect partial knowledge. So let's look at how the patterns are formed. I'm just going to provide the very basic information, but it is extremely important to understand this from the beginning, because this will be the foundation that will help you to support the rest of the work. And it is important that all the participants are have at least this basic understanding of how these things work and what the patterns are, how they work, and how they are created. So the human structure is composed of three parts, as we refer in a Ren Shui. And maybe in other philosophies or sciences or religions or cultural backgrounds, you might have the same words with slight different meanings. So the words that we're gonna use are the ones that are referred to Ren Shui, with a special meaning that we have in Ren Shui, and this is why I'm explaining them right now. So the human structure has three main components in Ren Shui: the consciousness, the heart. The spiritual heart is not the physical heart, the spiritual heart, and the true self. In the Chinese, you can use the term Yi, Xin, and Shen. Although for consciousness there are more than one word that can be used, but Yi is the more general one. I hope I'm right with that one. And then for the heart, we have the word Xin or Xinling. And for the true self, we use the word Shen. And these three components, they create what is the human experience. And when the three components are together, they create what we call the Jingshen. Jingshen. So this these three components of humans, the more real, the more that is us, is our true self, and is what has the capacity for realization and wisdom. Realization and wisdom are aspects of the true self. Also, the awareness, what we call the dreadsha, is also a quality or manifestation of the true self. And the complete understanding, the understanding of totality, is also a quality of the true self. But the true self has, how to say, it's a very specific and special form of existence. And two qualities of the true self is that the true self is silent and is quiet. So basically, it's still, it doesn't do anything. Although it does, but doesn't do. It's not something that express itself. And in order to manifest the true self, needs the help of other components. That is the heart, the shin, and the consciousness. And under healthy conditions, the consciousness and the heart, they should reflect the true self. So it means that our heart will manifest uh, the states that are on the level of resonance and vibrance, so vibration of the true self. And those states are the states that are in the pure heart of every human. States like love, trust, openness, forgiveness, gratitude, true respect, humility, compassion. All these states, when in the presence of the true self, all these states in the heart, they become alive, and they are completely constant there. So this is the heart reflecting the true self. And the consciousness, when the consciousness is reflecting the true self, it will have the patterns align with the laws of life and the laws of the universe. And those patterns, they should reflect wisdom, and they should be one with everything or all the laws that exist in the universe. They should not be in conflict with reality, neither in conflict with the laws of the universe. In generally, in general, humans suffer because they go against the laws of the universe. A simple example: there is a law that everyone knows in the universe, that is the law of change. But many times the humans don't like to change, right? And when the things are meant to change and the humans don't want to change, they suffer with that. But if our patterns are aligned with the laws of the universe, and when is the moment to change, we just change with no problem at all. And this is just one law. There are a lot of laws in the universe. The true self can reflect the laws of the universe and the totality of the universe, can reflect the wisdom of the universe and the love of the universe. And then the heart and the consciousness, they can reflect the true self and manifest the true self. And they create um, um, an interaction, and they provide us certain levels of experiences. Then they also allow the true self to generate even more wisdom and realization, and keep going in the process of evolution and growing. This will be under normal conditions, what is how it was supposed to be. All these three structures, they have uh, a few things in common. So all the structures, they have the sorry they have the capacity to receive information and to process information and create information. So, but then there are a few things that are different in this. Quite a few things. The consciousness can receive information, process information, store information, retrieve information, create information, and send out information. This is very important to understand. Although it seems very simple, it's very important. When because the part of processing information requires a lot of time and energy in order to become efficient, the consciousness create patterns so that when we receive the information, that information is immediately taken care of and creates a reaction for that information without the need to spend time and energy in the processing of information. So it's an automatic answer to that information. And in order to create patterns, when the consciousness receive information, start to create different reference points. So it creates a reference point that associates with another reference point, and then through that references point, it gives a meaning to the information, and then creates the processing. And after a certain amount of time and energy using that processing of information, it creates a pattern to react the fastest and the more efficient possible to that information. Then the outcome of the pattern of the consciousness will be the thoughts. So information is processed to the patterns, and the first thing that comes out is a thought. We know that famous philosopher saying, "I think though I exist." So this is a thing that is very deep ingrained in humans, because they associate their existence to the thought. But the truth is that the existence is already happening before the thought. The thought is just an outcome of a processing of information of the pattern of the consciousness. When a thought comes out, a lot of things have happened already. It's quite a big, relatively big uh, time gap from the moment that we perceive the information until the moment that we manifest the thought. Although, in practical terms, it seems that it happens at the same time, that is just a perception, because there is a delay between the time that we perceive the information and we see the manifestations of the patterns. We see the reaction, the thoughts, we see the thoughts, we see the reaction, we see the action that happens after that. When that happen, the pattern has already finished its work, and it means that we cannot stop it anymore when it's like that. So this is the basic work of the consciousness. The heart, it's a bit different. It also receives information. It also creates organization and creates patterns of the heart. And the outcome of the patterns of the heart will be the emotions and feelings. But the heart and the consciousness, they are extremely interconnected. And the heart and the consciousness, they mainly the consciousness, it mostly receive information from the five senses. And no matter what we do, when the information comes from the five senses, will never be complete information. So if we look, we receive visual information, sound information, touch information, flavor information, smell information, and it all comes inside of our brain, our consciousness, and that information is organized in a way that makes sense. So it's put together again, and then it makes the information. But is always partial, is never complete, because just the process of being separated by the senses make it already partial, so it's impossible to reflect totality. And then the consciousness with association with the heart and the exchange of information between both, it creates some sort of feeling or emotion that gives a reality to that information. So when we feel it, when we associate a certain experience or emotion or information with an emotion or feeling, it becomes a complete experience, a more complete experience, and it feels very real. Although the information is partial, although everything is based on the ignorance, for us it seems a very, very, very real reality. Then we do have the true self. The true self also receives information and deals with information and has an outcome of that information. But here is different because the true self uses awareness to receive and process information. So it means that has a different state to connect with information, and the true self is able to receive complete information. The true self is able to see totality. So when receive this complete information with this complete awareness and presence, it can gain what we call the true understanding. So has a true understanding of can see the laws that are related to that information. It does not take things personally. It does not take it does not get offended or is looking for self-interest. Just see the things with the clarity of a mirror. It looks to the things as they are, with complete, without breaking them, just complete information, and with that can gain a true understanding of what it is of reality, and can understand the laws behind that, see the laws behind everything that is happening, uh, and with that process is able to create realization, and the outcome of realization is wisdom. So if the patterns of consciousness, they generate a reaction that is based on ignorance, the true self creates a reaction that is based on wisdom. And the only antidote that we can have for ignorance is wisdom. So here's why it's so important, the participation of the true self. If the true self is in charge of life, our life will be guided by wisdom and true understanding, and will manifest what are the true human qualities and the true heart, because the heart will reflect that wisdom and so on. If our life is being controlled and manipulated by the patterns of the consciousness, they will manifest ignorance, and ignorance is the true cause of suffering. And that can start a cycle of uh, that feeds itself, an end cycle of suffering, because if the things are wrong from the beginning, no matter how we try to fix them, uh, if the foundation is bad and we are trying to fix the things being supported by this foundation that was already wrong, we'll never get a good outcome from that. If let's say if I have a Ferrari, a very powerful car, sports car, but I have tires that they can only support, let's say, 5 kilometers an hour or 2 miles an hour per hour. No matter how I try to fix the engine of the car will never manifest its full potential because the tires are wrong. So here's the same with the patterns. If our patterns are wrong from the beginning, no matter what we try to fix, if we keep those patterns, we can just get as much those patterns allow us to get. If and this is a thing that happens a lot in humanity. Some humans have good intentions and they want to help. Uh, let's say someone, I don't know, someone is trying to. Uh, Someone loves other peoples and want to heal them, want uh, to good for humanity, right? To heal people, to take them from the suffering of the illness and so on. But let's say that that person has a very, very, very strong pattern of um, of greediness. So if that person has that pattern, even if it has a noble purpose of trying to help other humans, the help will be a manifestation or a tool to satisfy the pattern of greediness. It could be the greediness for money, or could be the greediness for fame or for approval, whatever it does. But you understand what I'm trying to say. If those patterns are there on the background, even if we have a noble purpose that we want to accomplish, those patterns will not allow us to do it because they are still controlling us. We want to help people, but we end up to use people to feed our patterns. To could be the pattern of self-center, or the pattern of greediness, or the pattern of people pleasing. Let's say a few, and so on. So it is very important to look at those patterns on foundation to be able to manifest our true purpose in life without having these things controlling us and putting us down. Sorry. So here is a very, very, very important thing to know, and I want you to have this very clear and keep it always in mind. If the patterns are the cause of our suffering, if the patterns reflect ignorance, if the patterns are in charge and want to control your life and don't want to give up that control, using the patterns by changing, or trying to use the patterns to change the patterns, it will never work. It will even create bigger problems. If the patterns create ignorance, the only one that can take us out from that is our true self. The only antidote for ignorance is wisdom. And in our structure, the only one that is able to generate wisdom is the true self. So, without the help of the true self, without the activation of the true self, and this ability to try always to connect with our true self and ask for help, and be open and surrender to the true self and connect with the love to the true self and so on. Without that, it will be impossible to change patterns at the fundamental level. You can change behaviors, that's for sure. And if we look nowadays, there are a lot of studies in neuroplasticity. There are a lot of fields in psychology, but not just in psychology, but other other mental modalities out there, that they know how to change patterns, and they know how to do it in a relatively effective way. But what they do is that they change mostly behaviors, so mostly patterns that are on the external level that we can see. We are mostly on the patterns, the manifestations of the patterns is what they change mostly. But uh, that change is not being guided by wisdom, is being guided by other patterns. So it means that it's like a change for the patterns. It's just like changing clothes. They are still the same, but they use other clothes. And without the manifestation of the true self, it will be almost impossible to get out from that, because it is how it is the nature of the pattern to do that. One important thing to understand is that, and this is also very important, is that our consciousness work by patterns. No matter what, the patterns are a fundamental part of the structure of the consciousness. There are some relatively good patterns or healthier patterns, and some that are relatively unhealthy patterns. But the thing is that the more unhealthier patterns we have, the more ignorance we will manifest in our life, and the more suffering we will experience in our life, not just for ourselves, but also for the others. If the world was really wise, there will be no suffering in the world, that's for sure. Neither for oneself, neither for the others, because once you reach a certain level of understanding, you'll know that your well-being and the well-being of the others is the same, and they are connected. So helping the others and helping yourself is the same, and everyone will benefit if we help each other. So, but on the reality is not like that. We see people are competing to each other, people are destroying each other, people don't feel good about themselves, people try to get what is from the others, they try to abuse nature and the world, they try to conquer country, they try to kill each other, they do all sorts of crazy things. And the truth is that they do all those kind of crazy things for one purpose only. Everyone wants to be happy. If you search around the world, I can, I don't know all the humans, but I can guarantee you that every human wants to be happy. Who doesn't want to have the perfect happiness where everything just feels vibrant and good, and it's a happiness that cannot be destroyed, and uncompromised happiness? Everyone wants that. But because of the lack of true understanding and the ignorance that the patterns have, the patterns have wrong references where that happiness is. For some, they have built up the idea that happiness will be in being famous. Some will be in having a family. Some will be in having a lot of money. Some will be in be a rock star or whatever. So different people have thousands of ideas of what happiness is. But if we look around the world, it's very, very, very hard to find one human that is 100% happy, unconditionally happy, that in the sense that no matter what happens in the world, that happiness will remain with them. I don't know if we can count those with our fingers in our hands, humans that are on that level. But at the same time, all the humans through all the human story have searched for one thing, that is to be happy. No matter what it is, no human will deny happiness. And the funny thing is that happiness is our true nature. It's our birthright and is already inside of us. But if it's inside of us, why you are searching for all that? Why you are struggling so much to be happy? Well, there is one pattern that is quite good. The pattern of hiding and avoiding. You know, this pattern is it's extremely clever, powerful, knows all your weaknesses, all your strengths, and it will do everything that is possible to keep your false self in control of your life, to keep all those flawed patterns in control of our life. And why is that? Because patterns don't like change. You see, all the humans have fear of change, and that is because the patterns don't like change. Why they don't like change? Because the patterns are meant to predict the things, are meant to have the things under control. And everything that something change, it means that we need to adapt to that. So the pattern needs to change. And the patterns, no matter what kind of pattern, will take a long time to change. Because it requires a lot of energy and time to be built up and be established. And once it is established, it will require more energy to change. It's like, when I was teaching martial arts, I had, and also sports with kids was simple because they were like a white paper. We will teach them doing the things right from the beginning so they will not have bad habits. But sometimes adults, when we're going to teach them, they have already a lot of bad habits. And we'll need to have quite a lot of patience and time and persistence to first to diminish the strength of the bad habits, and then to correct them and create the new healthy habits. And I'm talking just on the physical level of technique and those kind of things. So these things on the very simple level, like sports and martial arts, are already very strong and are things that we can touch and see and be easily aware of those. On the consciousness level, on the patterns level, that we can call it our subconscious, it's even more difficult because we don't even see them. We are not, we see manifestations, but we don't know exactly what is there. So the patterns, they don't like change. They don't like it at all. they will do as much as possible to not change, even to give you the illusion that we are changing. They can give us that illusion, but deep inside they are not changing. They are still having the control. And this pattern of hiding and avoiding is a pattern that play a huge role doing that. So there are many patterns that we have, uh, and can be quite difficult to see them. Sometimes we see that there is something repeating. We don't even know exactly what it is. In Ranchware, we are very lucky because Yuan-Tse gave us uh, the name and the frame of 10 fundamental patterns. So there are 10 patterns that they are at a very deep level in all humans, and patterns that all humans do have. Even when we think that we don't have them, if you have a deep look, you will see it. It's funny. But we don't see it. It's just because of that, because of the pattern of hiding and avoiding. These relatively unhealthy patterns, they are not. I don't want to. I don't want you to see it as an enemy or something that how to say, something that you need to hate or fear. Is not like that. They are just a natural processing. It's like this is a very superficial thing, but it's just to understand the mechanism. Let's say when I was a child, I was crossing a street and I was passing in front of a house with a red gate or door, and suddenly a very vicious dog jumped out from that door and tried to attack me, and I got scared. So that experience created a very strong reference, a very strong emotion that uses a lot of energy in that moment, and a very strong experience. So naturally, because I felt the danger and my life could be a danger in that moment, I create a reaction to that. And when we experience that, one normal reaction is to experience fear. So let's say that has passed through, and suddenly I start to develop a fear against the first two red doors. But then I forgot that episode, and then I just start to experience fear whenever there is the red. So in my there was a pattern that was created to protect me from that situation, but because I create an association that every time that I see red, I will be attacked and my life will be a danger, my body will just react like that. If we see it's just a natural reaction, right? But the truth is that if we look on a very objective way, I know that the problem was not red and that the experience was just a situation that happened once in my life. But I kept living on that experience for the rest of my life, and everything that was associated to that experience is triggered or could be triggering in me reactions that I could not control. So that was a sign that a pattern was created. And other patterns could just manifest like that. So one pattern, things like, okay, when we are children, our parents and family told us that if we want to be happy, we need to be successful. So we can try our life extremely hard to be successful. And we can even start to take things to help us to become even more active. Things like coffee, or I don't know, or trying to even do things that can harm our health and harm other people to try to be successful. And then we start to become successful, but we say, okay, I still not experience happiness, so I'm not enough successful, so I keep doing successful, trying, and one day we are the most successful in the world and we still not feel happiness, and we keep pursuing that. So you see, this is the how you say, the information, and you can see clearly the manifestations of that information and the process. But there was a pattern that was behind this, and this is a pattern that is difficult to see. In this case, one, normally it's not just one, but in this case, one very clear pattern that was working behind this was the pattern of greediness. Because no matter how much successful we were, we'll never have enough. We cannot experience contentment with that. So there are many patterns that work like that. Just to name a few that Yuanse gave us: the pattern of greediness, pattern of self-centeredness, pattern of hiding and avoiding. That is the one that we were gonna work most on this course. Pattern of stubbornness, pattern of sorry. Now I start to think in Portuguese. uh, well, there are quite a few patterns like that, and then he gave us even more 20 the next year, and they are much more than just those. There are a lot of patterns. When we are able to see them, we'll see that there are really a lot. But the thing is that, and this is also very important to know and to understand, we cannot change what we don't see, or what we cannot understand or see. So if we have a pattern that hides and avoid, will not allow us to see it anything. Even when we see already something partially, I can guarantee you that that pattern will still be there, because it will just allow us to see something's partial, and we'll still think that we'll do some progress in life and we are changing things on the fundamental level. But if we don't address this pattern of hiding and avoiding, it will just be an illusion, and it will be very difficult to go to the root problem of that situation. All these unhealthy patterns, they are problematic, but in order to change them, we need to go very, very deep and be really strong. Changing the patterns is never a superficial work. It's a work that is important. It's the most important work that we can do. But it's a commitment that we need to do, a serious one. Otherwise, it will not work. Even when we have done already progress and we have changed up to a good level some patterns, we cannot quit from it. We cannot just lose the awareness and say, okay, I stop here. That is enough for me, for my life, and I keep going. It will not work like that, because they will try to regain power again. A pattern, when a new pattern is completely established and there is no trace of the other pattern, then you can rest with that pattern. But as long there is a small tip of the old pattern, it can regain the strength and go back and regain power. So again, it's important to see the things with clarity. And although what I'm saying right now it's very important, it's just a very, 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 very basic thing about the patterns. We'll go deeper. I don't want to give you too much information right now. It's just to to give you enough information that we can start at the same with some good foundation. So here is the deal. This work that we're gonna do is very special. It's extremely important, and if we really want humanity to evolve and grow, and we want to experience well-being, harmony, wisdom, and so on in life and health, uh, we all cannot reach that without working on the patterns. Humanity will never find peace without working and harmony without working on the patterns. It's a work that requires a lot of responsibility and determination and commitment. It's also a work that is not easy at all. It's a work that will challenge you because the patterns are the ones that create your perceptions in life. The patterns are the ones that create your experience in life. And when we start to face our unhealthy patterns and they start to hit back, it's not fun. It's not a playground. It will be something that will challenge you. And for me, being in the position of being a teacher or playing this role, it's very likely that you will hate me and you will feel really bad with me because I have to make this decision before I start this course uh, to not be soft, I will say. I've spent quite a lot already, some years teaching a lot about things, and intentionally I spent 50 weeks working on the 5 heart qualities, and then the quality of surrender has a preparation for this work too. Of course, that work that we have done in the past is a complete work by itself, and it is already working on the patterns. But now we're gonna work directly on the patterns. And apart from the heart, I also talk about Drecha, that is very important for it. So there was a strong preparation for that, and many of you have also done a lot of classes and have been in Ranchway for many years, so you know what I'm talking about. But I put this intention that uh, it's time to change, and I will have no mercy against unhealthy patterns. So if you have hesitations and if you see that it's not time for you to do this training, you can send me a message and you cancel your registration. I will refund your money, no problem at all. But if you want to be in the course, I ask you to do your best. Doesn't need to be perfect, doesn't need to be great, but it needs to be your best. It needs to be a true commitment to that. And this is important. It needs to be a true commitment. For me, it's much more important someone that has a true intention to change and apply it with what it has, that someone that has a lot of skills to change, a lot of knowledge to change, and does not have a true intention to change. So, this is what I would like to ask you, to have this true intention to change. And I believe that you do have this, because uh, I have been pushing uh, people in my classes already, especially the last classes. I have been pushing people and people are staying. So I do believe that you do have a true intention to change. And I'm saying this because the thing about patterns is that they can manipulate your perceptions. And they can play huge tricks on you and everyone. They can create a very, very real illusion. But if you have this true commitment, this true intention to change, no matter what illusion they create, you will not lose direction. And this is what I want you to have, to not lose direction in this. Make it a purity. Understand that if something is triggering you, something is making you to feel not so good, or losing your strength or direction, know that is because of the patterns, and try to see what is the pattern. This is another reason why it's so important to attack the pattern. Well, attack is metaphoric attack. To gain true understanding and try to change from the beginning the pattern of hiding and avoiding. The pattern of hiding and avoiding is one of the most core and primordial patterns that we have. It's probably among the first three patterns that we have created. So, if if I share you my view, and this I'm just telling you my own personal view with my experience up to now. I might be wrong, but what I have seen up to now is that there were two patterns that they were creating in the beginning. The first one was the identification with with what is your non-true self. So in the beginning we had the true self, the consciousness, and the heart. Because of the nature of the true self, was difficult for the consciousness and the heart to perceive it or identify with it from the beginning. And then they identify with other things. They start to identify with what they feel and perceive. That could be first perceive the chi, and then the thoughts, the patterns, the feelings, then the body, and our consciousness starts to identify with that. So that first, we can say that was the first pattern, the identification with the false self. And then, more or less at the same time, the pattern of hiding and avoiding came in to hide our true self, to hide our true nature, to hide our pure heart, the pure qualities of the heart. And from there on, the illusion was created. And then we start to search for love, but the pattern of hiding and avoiding was hiding that love that was already in you. We start to search for love in everything around us, and we start to search for many things that the true self had, and the true self is already in us, is in our structure. But because of the hiding on and avoiding was there, we start to search it externally in many other things. And then all the story of all other patterns start to happen one by one, sometimes together with each other. And we end up to reach a level where the hiding and avoiding became so amazing that it became impossible or extremely difficult for us to see our true self. And if we look around, I can guarantee you that love is an intrinsic quality of your heart and is always present and is always happening. But how many humans in the planet are constantly feeling love and experience love and seeing love and acting from love? Basically, very, very, very low number. I don't know, very, very low number. And then, of course, when we start to have this experience, the pattern of hiding and avoiding was kind of needed. It's a different category of patterns. This one, it was kind of needed because without that pattern, we will not make the effort to have the human life experience and to grow as humans. And that will not be beneficial for our true self. If if we'll know with complete clarity the reality about death, humans will not fear death at all. Because the truth is that there is nothing to fear. But it is important because of most of humans don't have enough wisdom to want to stay alive when they know the true nature of death. And because humans always search for the easy, the simplicity and the easiness of life, they will not do the effort to grow with many things or to face many challenges if some things will not be hidden. And not only because of that, uh, the hiding and avoiding became also an important pattern for survival. So if we see a dangerous animal or a dangerous situation, the best solution is to avoid it and hide from that. If we see a starving lion that really wants to kill us and eat us, it's better to avoid it. Or if we want to fly like a bird and we just throw ourselves from a big thing, the hiding and avoiding is important because that is what help us to avoid that. So it is a pattern that too has some uh, help under certain situations, under certain conditions. But then it becomes this kind of how to say, this kind of confusion, because it gives us the benefit of help us to hide and avoid things that are really dangerous for us, things that really can harm our life, but then also hide and avoid things that can really be beneficial for our life, like the manifestation of our true self. And it also hides because for the patterns that change, it's it's perceived as an experience of death. And one of the things that the pattern of hiding and avoid does is to avoid us to die. So when there is a perception for a pattern that this pattern is about to die, what the pattern of hiding and avoiding does, protect that pattern, avoid the change of that pattern, and protect it and hide it so well that we don't even see it. But the pattern is still there and still working and creating all the damage that it might be in our life. It is important to understand that the patterns are a tool of the consciousness. The patterns, they are not a self identity. They are not out there on the street and suddenly they see you and they jump on you and suddenly you have a pattern. They are not like a virus. Although we can learn patterns from other people, but the patterns are not a self-existence itself. They are tools created by our consciousness to deal with information the fastest way possible and the more efficient possible. The efficient and effective way possible. They do have flaws and they reflect those flaws when they act. And those flaws are the ones that cause problems. Because it's very normal when we start to do this work on the patterns in the beginning that we create a mess, to be honest. We try to control them, we try to block them, to repress them, to punish ourselves because they manifest, to feel bad about ourselves because we are supposed to have certain, we do ren shui and we're supposed to have a certain level of control over the patterns, and then we don't, and then we feel bad about ourselves and so on. We can do all those kind of feelings and then an experience, and it can create a lot of confusion and can create a lot of messy, chaotic things in our life. And this is important to understand, that the patterns are a tool. It is a very powerful tool because they deal with information, and information is the most important thing for our life. The information is what will affect us, how we're gonna live our life, and if we interpret or we understand wrongly the information, we will manifest wrongly that information in our life. So to be able to perceive with clarity the information, it will be the solution. So understand the nature of the patterns. Patterns are a mechanism of processing information that is automatic. They do it the same way over and over again. As long they receive the or they perceive the same information, they will give you the same answer. They are so automatic and they are so strong that when someone has a good ability to see other people's pattern, that person will know how the person will react and how the things will get out. Uh, it's like knowing the future of the other person. And in fact, the patterns they dictate our future. The patterns they dictate our destiny. And to be able to see the patterns and be able to change the patterns at the core level is the only way how we can change our destiny. Otherwise, it will be just impossible. They will just dictate everything. When you look at yourself and you make the thought, I gonna turn to the left or to the right, when you have that thought, the pattern has already decided for you because the thoughts are an outcome of the patterns. So the pattern has already happened. And the same with emotions. When we start to feel this emotion or that emotion, the pattern has already done the job. But for us, the experience of life is when the thoughts and the emotions and feelings happen, is not when the patterns are happening. So here's what needs to be done. It's we need to activate a very strong sense of awareness that we call in the Ren Shui, we call it the Dredcha, to help us in this work. It is important because it is important to be able to understand what is the true human nature and have that as a direction that we want to go. As an example, a true human heart will manifest in qualities like trust, openness, love, gratitude, grounding, forgiveness, and compassion. Sorry. So every time in life that you find reasons to not be in that state, it means that you are being controlled by some pattern, some unhealthy pattern. Another aspect how humans' life should be, and this is one of the biggest mantras in Ren Shui, that humans should be relaxed, calm, and natural all the time. So every time that we are not relaxed, calm, and natural, it means that some kind of pattern is working in the background. So these are things that we need to use as a reference. Being relaxed, calm, and natural, and at least manifest one or two heart qualities. These are extremely important to look at. And we need to go always inward. Okay, I've lost that state. Why? What happened? Then in Renshui we have methods to help us to work on the patterns. One of the most core ones, although all the system help you to work on the patterns from the early practice of Qigong to the most advanced ones, and then the practice that we work on the heart and the consciousness and the true self. All the methods of Feng Shui help you to transform the patterns, help you to change uh, towards healthier patterns. But one method that is recommended to work directly on the patterns is the eighth method that we call Ling Yuan. Ling Yuan. And you can go to the Ren Shui International website that there are some recordings with that meditation, and I will talk more about it during the next classes, how to practice it. And Ling Yuan is a very important method because it does not use the consciousness to work on the consciousness. That method uses the activation of your heart, of your spiritual heart, to connect with your true self, and then with the help of your true self, bring the wisdom and the clarity to help you to transform the patterns, and then and then use wisdom to deal with ignorance. So that method I highly recommend you to, if you don't know it, to start to look for it. And it's very simple. The meditation is a self-inquiry practice. It is important to use your heart, to connect with your heart, to manifest that practice in the deep level. And then the use of the Dredcha, the state of pure awareness that comes from the true self. It's even a more powerful tool to work on patterns, because that method will help you to identify with your true self, and from that use your true self to see with clarity the reality, and to gain a realization and wisdom. So you use your true self to process information instead of using your consciousness, and then that realization and wisdom will just clear and transform automatically the patterns. So these are the best methods to work on the patterns of the consciousness. Although there are others, in Ren Shui we have a very basic one in the beginning. So the first is to know that you have 4 steps. That is to know about the patterns, to be able to observe the patterns, to be able to face them with courage, and then to transform them. And this process, it is an early stage process. It's effective and is helpful, uh, but probably requires more time to be able to change them. But in an early stage, it can help already. Another way to help you to change the patterns is to the process of gaining true understanding, special when you receive the information of someone that has done a good process in the transforming the patterns, because that person can show you with more clarity about that. And for that, I will be also using my own understanding and experience and sharing that with you. But you also have the Zoom group meetings where you can talk and exchange information about patterns, and that can help you a lot to transform the patterns. And sometimes the things they look very simple. I remember when I was at the university. Uh, I was, so let's say, when I was getting out at night in my hometown, I did not smoke, but everyone in the bars, they were smoking inside of the bar. And at that time, uh, for me, I didn't like it, but was something like kind of natural. And then I went to study in Italy, and in Italy, by law, was forbidden to, at that same time, to smoke inside bars and discotheques and other places. And it was a very awkward experience because when I arrived there, the first time that I went to one of those places, I was looking around and I was feeling, oh, there is something strange here. What is going on? And then, of course, I noticed, oh, people don't smoke. It's possible. It's a different reality. People don't smoke inside, they only smoke on the street. And that seems more fair for me. So I gain a new understanding, a new clarity about the possibility of a different reality. And that changed me. Although it seems a very simple thing and a very superficial thing, changed me. It was enough to change me because I gained a more complete understanding of reality. A new door was open to me. And then I remember when I went back to my hometown, I was unable to go to a place where people were smoking anymore, and it cost me some friends. Or it was not that cost me the friends because the friends were still friends, but cost me socializing with those friends like used to be. But I also gained more self-respect and self-love because I said, no, come on, if people are not respectful enough to smoke outside so that they don't damage other people that don't want to smoke, why should I go out with people like that? So those are simple things that change, and but then on the level of deeper patterns, the things can be deeper like that when we have this openness and we have a true exchange with other people that are doing a honest work on the patterns. The growth can be quite deep. Okay, so sorry. So things that is they are important to do when we work on the patterns. The first one is to take the responsibility to really work on the patterns and to have the true intention to change the patterns. And don't stop. Don't say, okay, I have done this and that, now I feel more comfortable is enough. No, don't do that. I can honestly say to you that I still work on the patterns and I still work on hiding and avoiding. And I have started to work on hiding and avoiding. So uh, when I first learned about it, I think I don't remember how long it was, but maybe 6 years ago. And I work intensively on that pattern. Was through the process of working on that pattern together with the opening of the heart and the surrendering that my true self manifest. So the things start to become clear and for me. But I can honestly say that after all the changes that have happened, I still work on it, and I don't have intentions to stop any soon because the patterns are quite complex, are really complex. Even when we have the true self and the true self is in charge, there are still patterns. Not like before, that's true. Not at all. Very, 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 very different. The We can change the patterns much faster and much easier. Sometimes, as soon we see a pattern, uh, sometimes can take just a few seconds to transform it. Uh, but some patterns, like the pattern of hiding and avoiding, can have very, very, very deep roots. And they might not be in control of most of your life like they used to be. But as long there is a slight trace of them, even if it's just a memory of their existence, they can still grow again back. And this is why I say that it's important to take face the patterns with the five shin. So we use the five heart qualities to deal with the patterns, to take care of them, to transform them, and so on. But at the same time, we cannot be have mercy for them, in the sense that we need to be constant, vigilant, and keep working on them as much as we can, because there are many, many layers. To For me, at this moment, the things that I've seen with the pattern of hiding and avoiding, they can be traced back to the beginning of the existence itself. So, as you see, mm, this is what I can see up to now, but there is a lot of things to work. On the other hand, all the work that we do will be meaningful and will not be lost. You will not, no one will change all the patterns in one lifetime. That will just be impossible. Changing the patterns is a long term investment, a very long term investment, but it needs to be done. And it needs to be done with constancy. And if you create a pattern of changing patterns, let's say in this lifetime, that will be a huge, huge help for your next lifetimes. Every small step that you do will be extremely meaningful and will give you um, a deep change of direction, not just in this lifetime, but all in the other lifetimes. I said that if you want to change your pattern, your destiny, you need to change your patterns. So a slight change here will make a huge change in the future. You know that is like you have two paths like that, or you have one path, and then you just open like this, and you keep going in a straight line like this instead of like this. After a certain amount of time, the distance between this and that will be huge. So don't be, how you say, hold back in this process. And don't say, I'm too old, or I'm too weak, or I'm too tired. No. As long you have capacity, as long you can breathe, as long you have a true self and awareness, progress is possible. Even when you, although this seems a little bit difficult, because it creates a lot of difficulties, but even when we start to have things like mental health problems, if we do a good work now, even through that period, we can make progress. Because if we create healthy, healthy, some healthy patterns right now, and we go to a stage of life that our body becomes without capacities, those patterns, even when we are in low capacity, those good patterns will still keep doing that, doing the good job. I don't know if this makes sense to you. So progress is possible, and every small step that we do now will be a huge step, not just for us but for the all of humanity. We're gonna go deeper on this because when I talk about the hiding and avoiding, I will share with you understandings that go deep for every individual, but also for the all of humanity and all the beings of the planet itself. We'll embrace the totality to help you to go through this. And although this work will be hard and I will be pushing you, I will also be with you. I will be deeply with you in this process to help you to support you in this change, and the G field will support you with that. So it's your decision. It's but if you do it, do it. Once we do this, once we start this work of hiding and avoiding, and of course all the other patterns, I'm telling you this because once you do it, you cannot go back anymore. If we work on hiding and avoiding, you will start to see things, and you cannot pretend that they are not there anymore. You will need to work on them. You have no other way. Then this is why I want your commitment. And if you want to quit, you are still on time. I will be perfectly okay with that. But if you are in this boat, I want you to do it with strength and commitment. I can share with you that when I was working on the hiding and avoiding in the early times, uh, it was quite impressive because first this start to my Shen, my true self, start to show me things about myself, uh, even when I was asleep. And then the things start to see more and more things and more things and more things, and was like, oh, come on, what is going on? How is possible that all these things were in me? And I can tell you that was strong and was scary and was difficult and was confusing and was very tiring to do that. And sometimes it was quite despairing. There was a time that suddenly I was seeing so many patterns at the same time that was overwhelming. It was like for every breath that I was doing, I was seeing 10 or 20 patterns working just on that moment of one breath without interacting with other people, without saying anything, just sitting and breathing. And then when I was interacting, it was even worse. But was because of that that then change was possible, and it was possible to free ourselves from the causes of our suffering. When we work on hiding and avoiding, we need to have this commitment of accepting what it is. We're gonna, we don't have much time. Sorry. I'm almost going over time, but we're gonna go deeper on this. You know why the truth cannot be revealed for all the humans? Because if humans will see the truth, they will not like it at all. They cannot hold the truth in them. This is why the hiding and avoiding is also an important pattern. Why? Why cannot see the truth? Because they are being controlled by the patterns, by unhealthy patterns. If someone has a strong pattern of greediness for money, and then you tell and you show, and that person spent all the life gathering money and maybe has harmed people that that person love and so on, and then you show that person the true look, money does not give you happiness, and that person see that that is really true, how that person will feel will be a tremendous shock to see the truth like that. So again, I want you to have a true commitment, because once we stop to hide and avoid, the truth will start to manifest. And I will help you with that, and I will prepare you for that. But in the beginning, most of people don't like to see the truth at all. And it can be quite confusing. But there are many layers of truth, and the ultimate truth that, or the deeper you go on the truth, or relatively true things, uh, the better the things will become. And at some given moment, you can see the clarity, with more clarity, the truth of the universe, and you'll see love everywhere, and feel love everywhere, and see love and experience love everywhere, and you'll see how perfect things are in the laws of the universe, and how much wisdom is there, and how much support you have received all your life, and other things. And it will be wonderful that. But up to reach that stage, other things, they need to be taken care, and some things are not so nice. Okay, I need to stop now. There is many things to say, but we'll take other classes. So my question for you, are you ready for it? You will come on the boat with this, and embrace the change, and facing your patterns, and stop and transform the pattern of hiding and avoiding. Are you ready for it? Okay. So let's to a final integration and healing. Adjust yourself to good position with your spine straight. Look straight forward and slowly bring your awareness inward. Close your eyes and relax. 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 Go deep in your heart and connect with the five Shin. Connect with trust, openness, love, gratitude, and Gonjin. With the five Shin in your heart, open up and connect with your true self. And with the wisdom of the universe and the support of this chi field, feel the bright light around you, in you, in your heart. We are starting a new stage in life cultivation with this course, a very important one, to work deep in the patterns of the consciousness, to uplift our life, to manifest our true self, and to be free from ignorance and suffering. It is a work that needs dedication, determination, true intention, responsibility. It's a work that we're gonna do together, supporting each other and growing together. Now, from the heart to heart, make the question to yourself: are you ready? Are you ready to embrace the deepest change in your life? To transform your patterns, to see yourself, to know yourself, and to let your true self be in charge of your life? Are you ready to make such a change, such a commitment? Good. We'll do it together. The strength of our hearts unified is exponential. And together we're gonna grow deeper and further. Open your arms to the sides, palms facing forward. Embrace all the chi field and information, the strength of the chi field, and bring it back to your heart. Put your hands in your heart. Embrace yourself and your true self with your heart. Hands to the sides, and when you are ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, so thank you everyone. I did felt quite good intentions from your hearts in this integration. So let's do it. Today was just an introduction class, as you notice, a preparation that was needed to have a foundation and a clarity for everyone, to have the same starting point. And from now on, we're gonna go deeper. And please, if you don't have the link one, you go to the Rancho International website and you can have it from there. And yeah, that's all for today. Thank you, everyone. Much love for you, and see you soon. Bye bye.